What's going on? You are listening to the Road Trip Podcast. It's Gregory here with my co-host. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, Greg?
Not much. Today we got a new, fresh podcast. We're going to be talking about really upgrading your style and some handsome man secrets. And for the women listeners, there's also going to be some stuff that will, be beneficial for you. And it might just be fun to listen to this because it'll be some cool insight. Anyways, we're here with Ryan Magin. What's going on, man?
How's it going, guys? Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, our pleasure. I mean, so, first off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into, fitness, and then, how that progressed into, style?
Definitely. Well, I mean, I've been lifting weights for the last, 10 years, and I was always kind of that guy, I always worked out, but I never actually looked like I worked out. I was a big endomorph, so I was like, man, no matter what, I just keep getting bigger and bigger and puffy, and I stumbled on, I read a lot of your stuff, I read a lot of Rusty Moore's stuff, the Adonis guys, and I'm like, man, this is really fascinating to me. So the whole just basically training to look good, and so I started doing that, and I really got my diet in check, and started really dieting down. I lost, this is last year, I went from 245 down to 195. And now,
50 pounds.
Yeah, and now I hover at 205 because when I was at 195, I was just starving myself all the time.
And you're 6'1" or so?
Yeah, 6'1 and a half, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of a little half.
I'm just 6'2". Yeah.
but yeah, and so that. Once I got my weight down to 195, 200, I was became really easy to shop. And I'd always been kind of interested in trendy style and stuff like that. But I was always so big. Just big and bulky that nothing fit me, and every time I did have to get something, nice to wear, I had to be get it tailored. Sometimes I had to buy custom. And then when I kind of lost all this weight, I could go to H&M in the mall and shit would just fit me perfect, and I'm like, this is awesome. Now so I got really into just fashion and just kind of just what looked good on people. But it was really, at the time I was dating my current girlfriend, and we had just broken up because she seeing, if you watch what she was doing, about to really jump well into the upper six-figure category, and she started going to all these different meetings and dinners, and I really had nothing to wear. So I looked kind of like this punk entrepreneur kid who was just didn't give a shit how he looked. I was always scruffy, didn't really, hair was kind of scraggly, and we ended up breaking up because I just really kind of wasn't a representation of where she was going with her career, and that kind of sucked. So when that happened, I was already losing the weight and starting to look really good as far as with my shirt off. I basically just dove headfirst into fashion and just read everything I could on the internet, bought whatever products I could, subscribed to these magazines, GQ, Maxim, and just kind of engulfed myself in it. But what I started to see was that, you read a GQ magazine and it's the outfit that they're wearing is a $10,000 outfit, and I'm like, fuck, I can't afford that. So what do I wear? So I just started
I noticed that too. You're going through these GQ mags, and you look at these different outfits, and it's shirt $300, pants $425, watch $4,000. You're like, what the hell? Who's doing this?
Well, it's probably worse for women too, because I was at Nordstrom the other day with my girlfriend walking through, and she picks up a pair of shoes, and it has $950 for a pair of shoes, and I was like, oh my gosh, and she was like, no, that's on sale. I was like, you kidding me?
Yeah, that's what I started seeing, and then I was like, man, dude, I just want to look like that. Brad Pitt's got a sick outfit in this month's GQ. I really like it, but I don't have $6,000 to buy this outfit. So it was just and I started just basically the fundamentals of fashion and just kind of what looks good on certain body types, and the basics that you need. And I'm not a guy I don't want to wear a suit every day. I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own business now. I teach guys how to be handsome.
Music to the choir.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you in a suit.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm in this little picture. I'm wearing one on the.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that was a model shoot, so it doesn't count.
Yeah. So I started. I was I really like blazers. I really like looking classy and very handsome and upscale, but to go out to my local bar scene downtown or nice dinners with my girlfriend or out on dates, I didn't need to wear a suit all the time. And all the style blogs and everything you see on there now like on the internet, it's just telling you how to like wear a suit properly. And I'm like, this isn't really style. This isn't, excuse the term, this isn't going to help guys get laid. This isn't going to help me appear more attractive to women. So that I took a lot of the fundamentals there and just really started studying it. And I mean, I bought a lot of shit that I don't even wear now, just kind of experimenting with my own style. But what I started to see was this huge, kind of more like a respect thing that started happening to me every time I went out. And it wasn't, I mean, the women, it became very easy to meet and talk to women, naturally because I was dressed better than everybody in the club or bar or wherever I was. But other things started happening that like nobody ever talks about. Like I started getting served first at a bar, like so I wouldn't have to wait in line. Like guys would just serve me first. I wore a blazer and a really good outfit on a flight one time. I got upgraded to first class because I looked like I should have been there. I've gotten upgrades for hotels because
you weren't wearing like a $3,000 outfit.
No, I mean, I shop at the mall, man. I go to H&M. Like I like Zara. Like I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on clothes. Like I enjoy like buying clothes, but I don't want to spend, $5,000 on a Gucci blazer.
So let's backtrack for a second, and I know a lot of listeners, because I used to be in these shoes as well. I mean, why would someone even care about their style? Like, if someone doesn't have to dress up nice for a job or a job interview, if someone just like, why should they care about how they look?
Well, mainly if you're a single guy, women naturally they give a shit how you look, and I mean it goes back to. You take a woman, for example. I mean, they spend time getting ready. They wear makeup. They go shopping. They're matching their outfits. And then, as most guys, they just don't give a shit. Like they just throw on t-shirt and cargo shorts and some dirty sneakers. And it's like now you have this. Let's say you did do a good job and you got this girl on a date with you. You show up and you look sloppy and she's like dressed to the nines. What that says, what do you think that says to her? It's like, oh, this guy just doesn't even care how he looks. So like that's a huge thing. And I think guys get comfortable and they're in this whole mentality like, oh, I don't care what other people think about me. When in reality it's like, no, people do care what you think and they're judging you every single day and you're stupid not to use that to your advantage.
Right, that's a good point. There's all kinds of like just judgments based on what someone's wearing and stereotypes. So when you see someone like actually in Toronto there's actually a number of very well dressed people, and like these days you see people wearing suits that are like really well fitted and tailored. Mm-hmm. And so when you see someone wearing like a perfectly tailored suit, you automatically just assume they're like of higher success, more attributed in life than someone who's wearing this like sloppy fitting suit. The sloppy fitting suit guy, you just assume like he's basically, just stuck in like a dead end job and just kind of. And it's funny how we make these stereotypes, and we see it like when we watch like TV and movies, and we see these. People like in Entourage, like Ari, and we see them wearing like awesome suits. We just kind of like attribute these different, and obviously it's not just about suits. It's about like how you rock your like everyday attire and all that stuff. So I mean, and like girls are like if this is stuff that I'm doing, stuff that's like what we're doing, girls probably take that to a whole other level.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, girls, and it sounds bad, and it's like the easiest way to tell people like, okay, this is what's gonna happen if you start dressing better. Girls are gonna hit on you, like it's a given. But other things happen too. Like if you're just a regular business casual guy who has his 9-to-5 job, all of a sudden you start wearing just maybe a well-fitted suit and just take your same clothes and maybe just go to the tailor and get it all tailored. You now look better than everybody in your workplace. Bosses and people take notice of this and they see change and they see like, oh, this guy's, he's got a little more confidence in his step. Maybe let's ask him if he's interested in maybe moving on up in the company and see if there's a way we can help him out. And then you get, approached about raises, promotions, things like that. And then, you take a guy goes to an interview and he's wearing a nice fitted suit. Don't you think that's going to stand out more than the guy that shows up wearing just like sloppy business casual? It doesn't matter what the resume says. You're sitting in front of a guy who is successful. He's about to hire you. If you don't look, the part, if you don't look like you're successful too, he's going to be like, no, moving on, keep going. And all these things, like it's proven, like you said. There's actually a study done. It's called the Halo Effect, and it was written about by Robert Cialdini in his book Influence. And they actually did studies where prison inmates were actually in their sentencing in front of a judge, and the ones that were prettier and better, more attractive-looking people wearing nice suits, shaved, good jaw lines, face structure, they actually got lesser sentences than the guys that were dressed ugly with like face tattoos and things like that. So they got max sentences for prison. So like that's like a small example, but then it's also they use big brands use this shit in marketing too.
Right.
So,
You know what's funny is that in the Canadian judicial system, in court, all the lawyers have to wear this gown. They don't want anyone making any judgments or stereotypes about them based on how they're dressed. And so, just to level the playing field, and it's because that stuff goes on. If someone's wearing like the nicer, more powerful suit, they may be at an advantage. And like when you watch shows like Suits and you see Harvey Specter,
oh yeah, I love that show.
The great show. That's actually filmed here in Toronto. He's not wearing some like baggy suit. It's just he wouldn't portray that image he's going for. I mean, back in the '90s in movies, you saw people wearing like these, non-tailored suits, but it's totally shifting now.
Yeah, everything's definitely shifting now to more streamlined, very tight-fitting, almost like uncomfortable to wear. Like, I mean, I have a couple blazers that are very well tailored, and I'm like, oh, I gotta like, diet down for a day or two just to put that fucking thing on, just so I look good when I go out. But when I wear it, I'm like, man, I feel awesome in this suit. It's like things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's been studies done. I mean, Abercrombie, the entire company is based off attractive models. They're not gonna. It's all based on attraction. They're like, oh well, we don't want ugly people buying our stuff, and we don't want ugly people shopping in our stores. So they basically cut out.
And apparently, they like have to hire people based on looks that are like selling the clothes. They have to hire them as models in the contract, so there's no like issue there.
So I mean, things like that. I know, and big brand companies use the halo effect in marketing, which is basically, say for example, Apple iPhone. I mean, I love my iPhone. I'm an Apple fanboy, but it's not a superior phone than the Samsung. But when you look at the iPhone and the marketing, the way it's done, you just assume Apple does everything better than everybody else. So it's like, and that's like the halo effect of marketing, because Apple has more attractive boxes, more better-looking stores, smarter people work in the stores. Like it's all playing these roles, and it's all based off of, look at how good we look.
Right. So I mean, we kind of honed down on like what's going on when you bring your style up, and essentially like, we work out for a number of reasons, and one of those reasons is because we want to be perceived as more attractive. We want to feel more confident, and the same thing that happens when you get in better shape also takes place when you take care of your style. You feel more confident wearing a kick-ass outfit, and then when like girls are complimenting you and people are complimenting you or just treating you differently because you're basically demonstrating a higher value by the way you dress, then that further enhances your confidence. So it's like when you combine these two together, when you get in great shape, and then when you handle your style game, it just pretty much takes that to a whole other level. So I mean, it's crazy not to like, if you're gonna put all this time into like getting lean and fit and muscular and healthy, you might as well put a bit of effort into dressing the part as well.
Yeah, and it's like, and the way like the workouts that you talk about, and guys like Rusty Moore, there's a few of us out there that actually like talk about the Hollywood physique and really attaining. I know on your blog you always talk about the Christian Bale, like is it Christian Bale or the yeah like that. I mean, in that movie,
American Psycho.
Yeah, American Psycho physique. I mean, dude, he was skinny, yeah, but when he put his suits on, it's like, damn, dude, that's a good-looking motherfucker. Like, and it's people, it's like a missing piece of an equation. It's such an easy thing to add in that even if you're not that in shape, I mean, changing your style, like going out and just buying some nicer clothes, it's literally, it's an instantaneous confidence booster. You just go to the mall, get some nice fitting stuff, and you wear it out that night, and you're probably going to get complimented, especially if you don't dress very well now. Maybe you just don't care, or like, you've been lied to your whole life that, cargo shorts and baggy t-shirts look good on you. If you change that up and instantly you go out, it's like the same people that you've seen every day for your entire life are now going, man, you look really good. Like, is there something different about you? Like, because this all happened to me. Like, I never knew about it, that it would happen until I started, implementing these things into my own life. And it became, like, I joke about it, it's like life got a little easier when I started dressing better. I mean, even things like just dressing decent, because I work a lot out of Panera Bread, because I work from my laptop. So, like, it just conscious effort about making sure that I'm wearing well-fitting clothes when I go there every day gets me, like, free coffees and shit. It's just, like, little shit like that. You're just like, wow. They automatically perceive you as a higher status individual because you're just actually take 20 minutes before you get out of the house to care how you look. And I think it also portrays just that you're not lazy and that you're very, go-getter, kind of action taker kind of type of person.
Now,
Right.
I'm curious. I have a question about because I have this theory that oh, it's not even a theory. I don't know. It's just kind of like where. Here's a question: where do people falter when they have like that trying too hard uh, mentality with style? Because that's something you see a lot. Is like someone goes from not caring about their style to it's like holy shit, this guy is taking this way too seriously and clearly trying way too hard, and then that does kind of the opposite effect of it turns people off. So like where's that line in your experience? Where have you seen that with guys or girls? And then like where can they stop?
Well, I mean, I can relate to that to myself because, like I said, when I first got into this, like I kind of went overboard at first, and what I realized is you can always tell the guy that's trying too hard because he's usually like, I mean, in the pickup world they call it peacocking. I mean, like it's like you're just like you're wearing like neon red shoes with an outfit or something. They may be Dolce and Gabbana, whatever, really expensive shoes, and they look good, but you're never gonna wear them again. So it's kind of like the mentality is like you're buying stuff for one-off wearing, like one-off events. But when you actually learn style and you realize what looks good day in and day out, you realize it's not the flashy shit that matters. It's the classic stuff that you can wear day in, day out. And you can wear the same damn thing every day, but you still always look in fashion. You always look in style. And I think that's where you can see the difference. If guys are just going out with like this, they go to the mall and affliction shirts used to be in style. It's like, like they're wearing like this, they got gold braiding on their shirt. It's like, okay, that's cool now, but in a year you're just going to get made fun of for wearing that. But if you have like, 7 button-up shirts and they're all in like a different shade of a color, or tailored, they all look good, you can wear them with jeans and a shirt tucked in every day of the week for the next 5 years, and nobody's going to be like, you're not going to be out of style. So I think it's more like just kind of the go-go mentality. You just put everything in at once and you buy this flashy-ass, crazy stuff. Like the neon flat-billed hats, or like, just the crazy shit that you see people wearing. Like, but I think just more people need to understand just the basics of, okay, this is a base, like the classic guy, like, a navy suit or a navy blazer, a black blazer, a gray blazer, they're never going to go out of style. So get a nice one and then just start implementing that like day in and day out, and you're going to up your style game instantly and not look like a douchebag doing it.
Yeah, see, I'm a fan of like really simple stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I call in my product I talk about what's called magnetic personas, and this kind of goes back to obviously helping guys meet women, but women are predisposed from upbringing in childhood. They attach stereotypes to certain images and certain perceived looks. So obviously, take for example a guy that wears a suit. A woman is naturally predisposed to think that he makes more money, he's more successful, he has better friends, higher social worth. So if you're a guy and you just kind of fit in and you wear a suit, I call that the Wall Street persona. Now you're in that, like, you may be broke as shit, but you're wearing that outfit and that kind of costume. But all the good shit that they're perceiving with you, you start feeling that like in your head. It's like, wow, I am more successful. Girls do talk to me. Guys do ask me what I do for a living. So all that it's confidence and just keeps transferring over in every aspect of your life. And I also like the Rockstar bad boy look. Women, are predisposed to thinking that's attractive. I mean, it goes back to like James Dean, like Elvis Presley, all these rock stars and icons, and that social media and the media portrays that is sexy and it's cool. So if you're a guy and you kind of dress with a little bit of an attitude, you got tattoos, next thing you know, you're attractive to women. Now you have the rock star persona, and these things are, I mean, I talk about this quite a bit inside my product. It's just when I first start like helping guys out, and this has happened numerous times with clients, I basically just fit them into one of these personas. It's like, okay, you don't really have your own style yet, so let's just see how you look if you wear a suit out, and go out and wear it and see what compliments you get, and if you like the way you're perceived. Most of the time, they come back and they love what happened, and they're psyched, and then they want to just learn more about it. So I don't know where I was going off on a rant there.
No, I mean that's a good point. If there are these stereotypes that have certain beneficial stereotypes, I mean, you might as well capitalize on them, and then eventually work your own personality flair into it, so you can kind of express yourself in your own. And this is what celebrities do, because they all have very unique sort of ways of expressing themselves through the clothes that they wear. And that comes is that so. Let's talk more about the magnetic persona. But before we do, if you still aren't convinced about this whole style thing and how that affects, your how people respond to you, just check out the movie Crazy Stupid Love, and you see Steve Carell's character, and basically he just looks like a schlob, and then Ryan Gosling takes him through this incredible transformation, and all of a sudden he looks like $1,000,000, and like if and you like physically see him differently from before and after, and like that's just how powerful that is, and like. When we look at movie characters like Ryan Gosling's character, for example, he was extraordinarily well dressed, and that had a massive effect on how on just his character in general. But let's talk about the magnetic persona a bit more.
Definitely. And you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, I love that movie too, Crazy Stupid Love. That whole scene just epitomizes like the transformation that happens when you go from dressing like shit to just dressing well. And you can see, like, I mean, obviously everything kind of comes back to portraying with, hooking up and meeting women. But Steve Carell, like, in that movie, like, if he was just a regular guy, he probably will go on to be more successful just because he has that confidence and the swagger and what he was wearing in that, just from that transformation of just dressing better. But, yeah, I mean, I started doing, like, with the magnetic personas. I mean, it's kind of a catchy term. I really like it. But it's like the 3 looks that I see people, if you can nail down the looks, cool things happen, and that's
what's the other look? You mentioned the Rockstar. You mentioned the Wall Street.
Well, a hipster. I call it the hipsters. The hipster Wall Street, and there's like sub personas. Like you could even go like, like the hip hop look, like old school hip hop. I mean, but these are things that like cool to wear like one time. Like I wouldn't, but you could build an entire wardrobe. And I like to blend styles as you get better and learning what you're doing. Like I like the Wall Street bad boy look, and that's like. I wear t-shirts and blazers. I wear like dark slacks, well-fitted jeans. I like dress shoes, but like the flashier dress shoes, like the wingtip dress boots. Like so, this is just me coming into my own and like knowing my own style. But all I did was buy a navy suit. I had the navy vest, white shirt, navy blazer with navy slacks, and I would wear that pretty much. I'd wear the same suit. In some variation, like the same suit over and over every weekend I'd go out. And every time I went out, I got a different response. And then I was like, well, now everybody's just assuming that I'm successful and making all this money. It's like, okay, well, let me take off like the slacks and wear like some dark denim. And let's get a nicer pair of boots to go with it. So now I look kind of like I'm like this rocker guy, because I have an arm full of tattoos, so naturally they assume that. And then it's I started rolling the sleeves up on my blazers. I'd wear pocket squares, and it was really fun to see the different reactions. And same thing, like girls responded better to that than they ever did just wearing the suit. And that's like the levels of attraction, like peacocking a little bit, wearing like a pocket square. Blazers are supposed to be formal, but I have my sleeves rolled up, so it's like, what's he doing there? And another time I'd go out, I'd wear like plaid, like a real slim fit, skinny jeans, like nice Converse, and I'd wear like suspenders, and that would look straight hipster. And it was different types of girls were talking to me and attracted to me as I wore these different outfits, and that was what was fascinating to me, was that just a certain type of girl will talk to you, and it's like magnetic persona means they're magnetically attracted to you, because these girls do have these preconceived notions in their head. When they see you dressed like that they're automatically attracted to you. So their guard's gonna be down. If you say hi, like, hi, I'm Greg. I'm actually a really cool guy. I like to wear blazers. Cool. You want to grab some coffee sometime? It becomes this easier process. You don't have to woo her with some crazy pickup lines or, buy her tab. Like it's just, oh, this guy looks like he's got his shit together. He's got some good style going on. Let me say hi to him. And it became easier. Like girls, that became easier. And then knowing how to dress, like certain things, like how to wear a suit for a job interview. I mean, if I was gonna go for an interview, I'm sure I would nail the interview just because of how I know how to dress. And I've actually had a client that I don't know my personal. He's a friend of mine now, but he hired me. He had like a big promotion coming up, same company, but they were flying into Miami to interview with a couple of the major company owners. And I mean, he stood to go from like 50 grand a year to like 120,000 a year. So like it was a huge thing. So he hired me And I had like 2 weeks to help him get ready, and all I did was teach him how. Like, I got him comfortable wearing a suit because he was already business casual. But we just took all of his stuff to the tailor, and every day he just started having a little more confidence. He got to that interview. I mean, he nailed the interview, and I think he got I think it was like a $25,000 a year pay raise, like just because he got that new promotion. And he's like, man, I don't think I would have had the confidence to even do it if it weren't for dressing better. Like, and so that was like a
Right. Let's talk about like the fact that if you're out meeting women at a bar, at a event, something of that nature. So I mean, when you're dressing with that that sort of that you're pushing the edge a bit. You're kind of you're wearing well-fitted clothing, but you're also expressing some sort of flair. Maybe just portraying that rock star look, or just like 'cause I mean you talked about the Wall Street look, but you were also kind of like spicing it up, rolling the sleeves up, going with like the boots and the dark denim. I mean, how does that help you? Because I guess the girl basically, instead of her putting you in this, I guess when she meets you, she already has or she's already like interested about you, or curious about you, or you're already up in like a higher sort of value per se. So I guess a lot of the heavy lifting is already done right off the bat. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, you automatically appear high status, and everybody wants to appear higher status, and that's like when you start dressing, like when you start knowing style and start kind of goofing off and like blending things together to create certain looks. I always call it like dressing one level above everywhere you're going. So if you're going to a bar and the natural, it's just like a bar. There's like, I have one here in my town. It's like a country bar. They have like a mechanical bull. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to wear a three-piece suit to walk into that bar. Like it just would seem out of place. I mean, which in itself that could play a whole nother role, and you could wear a suit there and make that work for you. But I like to go, okay, well, what's everybody going to be wearing there? And most of the time it's like cargo shorts, shoes. Like maybe they may even throw on a button up, but the chances are it's two sizes too big, and it's never tucked in. So you just take like, okay, let me buy a well-fitted shirt, get it tailored, and buy well-fitted jeans and wear some nice dress shoes. Now, I walk into that same bar where everybody's dressed like a slob, and then there's you. You're not overdressed, but you're the only guy in there that really looks like he cared and actually put thought into what he was wearing when he comes out. So girls automatically perceive that as he cares how he looks. He cares what other people think. He's probably got a lot of girls hitting him up. He may even have a girlfriend. He knows people. He's really friendly. Look at him. He's laughing. He knows the bartender. And you may not know anybody. You may not even know the bartender, but all these dynamics are happening in her mind, where before she says, she's like, wow, I could show him my parents if he always dresses like this, or my friends will probably like him, because he's more attractive than my good friend's girlfriend or boyfriend. So there's all these different things going on in their heads that they don't even probably really know that they're saying, but subconsciously they're just thinking it, and you kind of just push all these to the side when you just look like you care. And it's not always about like going over the top and wearing a full suit with a tie. Just think about where you're going to go and think about what everybody else is going to wear, and just kind of go one step above. And I mean, that gets harder if you live in like New York City, where everybody's wearing well-fitted suits. You have to you got to know your style game. You got to really but if you're living, like I live in downtown St. Petersburg, my competition isn't very hard. Like this is an easy game to win. And that's kind of majority of where people live, unless they're in the heart of LA, in the heart of New York City, probably don't have much competition when it comes to this. And that's why just the little subtle changes will create these huge impacts. Did I lose you, man?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh,
Greg,
all right.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm there.
Okay, cool.
Cool. I thought we lost it. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Ryan
no.
went out for a second.
Anyways, yeah, that was kind of ranting again, but that's like, my philosophy is just one level above kind of where you're going, and that keeps people from not getting super uncomfortable in their clothes, because when they start changing their style, naturally you're going to feel a little uncomfortable and weird at first, and you got to kind of grow into it. It's like going to the gym. It's you're training different muscles to work for you. If you're not used to standing up tall wearing a blazer, your shoulders are probably going to be sore the first time you do it. So it's like, all these little things that I think scare people away.
Well, that one level up principle, Greg, we've talked about the one level down principle before. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, Ryan, but or you've probably addressed this somewhere, but for example, in Los Angeles or New York, a lot of people when they go out, they're like you said, they're dressed to the nines. You know, they got like expensive suit, expensive shoes, everything. It's hard to even. I mean, you go there dressed like them, and everyone looks exactly the same. It's like guys walking. It's like all the Wall Street guys walk into the bar around Union Square after work or whatever, and it's like all these guys in suits just like throwing money around.
Yep.
But I have this theory. What I really like to do, I just like to look like I'm a lot more relaxed. And when I go out, I dress down a little bit. And I think it works better when you're working out, you're feeling confident about yourself, you have a good physique, or even just working on your physique, that kind of thing where it's like you have that internal confidence, which can be great for a lot of the listeners of the show. If you're in that kind of a scenario, just to be more relaxed at these places where everyone else is like, where you'd have to drop $10,000 to try and outdress anybody, and then at that point you look like you're trying way too hard. So I feel like it's a good thing to actually dress down a little bit and maybe have like a well-fitting white T-shirt and some good jeans and a pair of boots on or something when everyone else is wearing suits, and they're like, damn, that guy actually, like, why is he in this place and he actually is dressed down? You know, he looks really relaxed, he looks stylish and everything, but it's completely different than everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head when you said, like, I mean, dressing one level up or one level down, you're still aware of what's going on, and that's the difference. Most people don't take that extra step. You know, it's like they just put on whatever they're going to wear and walk out the door. And I mean, being in New York City, I mean, who you're competing with is, you know, guys that do actually work on Wall Street. They live that persona, they live that life, they wear those $10,000 suits every day. You know, so yeah, what you said makes perfect sense. You take that same suit, you know, don't wear a tie, wear a blazer with your shirt kind of unbuttoned a little bit. You're probably in shape if you're listening to this podcast. So you probably got a good little line on your chest, you know, from working out. Then you throw on some dark denim and some nice, like, just some boots. Maybe leave the boots kind of untied. Next thing you know, you look stylish and you're still dressed to get good enough to get into any bar there, but you look different. And that's the key. Is like you just took the time to go, okay, what's everybody going to be wearing? How can I differentiate myself from them? And that's the difference. It doesn't, one level above, one level down, you know, they both could work on that same dynamic, but it's just you actually care. And that's where most guys don't care.
And there's a funny dynamic with that too, in like Los Angeles. If you wear a suit out in Los Angeles, you're trying too hard. It's like nobody, or a tie, especially a tie, like nobody wears ties in Los Angeles. And you actually see the fun. It's funny because like if you're in a club or a bar or something, and then like a real movie star or whatever celebrity walks in, they're usually dressed down a lot. Like
that's very true.
Like have a hat down over their eyes or a beanie and just wearing like a graphic tee or something. They just some of them actually look bad the way that they're dressed. But it's funny how that works. It's like to the extreme opposite.
Yeah, and I mean. Too, I mean, if you're a celebrity in LA, I mean, you could wear a white T-shirt and flip-flops and still get in any club you want because you're that celebrity in LA.
Yeah.
So it's most people like try to just copy celebrities, and it's like, okay, well, Robert Downey Jr. can wear a graphic tee and jeans into that club because it's Robert Downey Jr. It's not, you know, you probably can't wear that. You know, you have to dress up a little bit and try to, you know, sway your way into the club with your stylish good looks. You know, so it's the different dynamic there too. But it all comes back to just, you know, knowing what's going on and being aware and kind of planning ahead with, okay, well, I'm going to go to this club in Hollywood tonight. What's everybody going to be wearing there? Okay, how can I separate myself a little bit? Well, I know there's the guys that are dressed up. I don't want to do that. So maybe I'll wear my stylish high tops with some nice jeans and my perfectly fitting, you know, tailored white V-neck with a cool like leather jacket over it. You know, so and you see that style in LA a lot. You know, everybody in LA has awesome jackets. I'm jealous because it's hot as fuck here in Florida. We can't wear jackets here in Florida ever. but yeah, I mean, just and also layering too. Like people think fashion is just wearing like, you know, some sort of, you know, suit or, you know, like this crazy fancy jacket. But I mean, I've worn, like right now I have a T-shirt on just with a short sleeve button up over top of it. And it's like you add in these extra little layers, and it's like attention to detail, you know. And that's another thing too that women notice. And fashion is more about details, like layering, you know, wearing like a pocket square. Like I roll my sleeves up. I cuff my pants sometimes. I wear like crazy stylish socks. You know, all these things, they take a normal outfit and they just make it look really good. So it's not always about like, you know, oh, what kind of jacket can I wear? What kind of shirt can I wear? Or do I need to wear a tie? It could be just like you're wearing a V-neck and you have like the sleeves rolled up, but you made sure that it fits you perfectly, and you got a cool leather belt with matching brown shoes. You know, it's like the little details add up, and that it just shows that you care. And people that present themselves like that go farther in life, in my opinion.
Well, it doesn't have to be expensive either. Like you said, like H&M, Zara, H&M is so cheap,
Oh
and
God, yeah.
Forever 21 even has some good-looking dude stuff. And then, yeah, I think for women, they really hit the jackpot at those kind of stores because they have like usually the male section is really small, and then the female section is like huge. They have a lot of options, but then also another like a dark horse stylish clothes section that I've noticed is actually Target. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
looked at Target has some good looking clothes.
Yep.
They're getting really good at their cuts, and they're cheap.
Yeah, I actually have a blazer, like a really nice black blazer that I bought from Target for like $13 on sale, and like I wear it probably once a week.
Yeah, I love Target. And actually, I went to a Target down in Florida, and it was in Fort Lauderdale, and they were doing a collaboration with some really famous designer on some line where, and I think Target regularly does that, where they have a designer and then they make it like a budget, you know, but very stylish look, and then they have like a full line of that look for whatever season. So that's pretty cool too, because then you can go in there and get this, you know, half designer name or whatever if you're into names, and then still, you know, have not really spend much money. Like if you go into Target with $100, you can buy a ton of clothes.
Yeah, and I think this like cost, because of like GQ and all those magazines and what they do, like they kind of brainwash you into thinking fashion is expensive, when in reality it's not. I mean, I love H&M. I probably shop at H&M twice a week. I'll probably go. I mean, and I like H&M too. Is like you can go there and you can buy stuff right off the rack, and it usually fits really well. And I mean, if you only wear it once or twice, it's fine because it was only probably $10. So you just go back and like, I like shopping, so I like I like putting together outfits. But I mean, when it comes to like the nicer things, and I talk about this in my course, it's not so much like you can skimp on things at first. Like you don't need to buy the best white T-shirts ever. I mean, a basic white T-shirt, as long as it fits you well, will work. But you can spend a little extra money, and maybe instead of buying, you know, the H&M blazer, maybe go to Express and spend the $200 on one of their blazers because it's a little nicer, it's going to last a little longer. And then take your shoes, for example. Like I'm obsessed with like dress boots, but they're like a good pair is like $450. So like even I'm not to the level where I can drop $450 and like not give a shit about my shoes. So like I go, you know, like Steve Madden's are like 120. There's like different, you know, variations, and you kind of walk yourself up that ladder. It's like, okay, I can buy a nice pair of shoes this week, and then, you know, I'll shop at H&M, my pants, my shirts, and then when I get a little money, you know, when I get my tax return or whatever, you know, I'll spend $500 on a nice pair of boots. But the thing is, the more you start, the better quality pieces that you buy, they last a lot longer than normal clothes. You know, it's like, I mean, I want to get a pair of Allen Edmonds boots, and it's like I mean, you don't just buy a new pair of shoes, like they resole them for you. You know, if you wear them out, then you just go get a new sole put on. You know, and like the nicer dress shoes and blazers, like they have like warranties and shit. Like, you know, you're not buying crappy stuff. It's like, yes, it is, you know, an investment, and then clothing for me is an investment. Like each piece that I buy as I up, you know, my game, as far as like, you know, okay, I can buy a $700 fitted suit from, you know, custom made for me. Like you just walk yourself up these ladders, and that shit it's not like you just, you know, it goes away. Like you have those clothes for years.
Yeah. Well, another good. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was saying like cool stores are those discount stores like Nordstrom Rack, and like you can get some nice boots at Nordstrom Rack for pretty inexpensive. Nice shoes too. Any clothes that are really good ones that they sell in Nordstrom, and they sell the exact same ones at Nordstrom Rack for like half off at least.
And there's also thrift stores.
Like, yeah.
if I lived in LA, man, I'd hit up thrift stores all the time because I mean, you could just hope that a celebrity dropped off a bunch of shit. Like, I mean, you never know what you're gonna find in there. And yeah, you got to kind of rummage and you got to search, and it's most everything has to be taken to the tailor. But for like $8, you can get a blazer that's probably a couple $100 blazer if you just are patient and take your time.
Well, there's this store called Buffalo Exchange on La Brea, in Hollywood that does I think it's on Mondays or Sundays. They do a dollar sale where they like have this. It gets mobbed with people, but it's a thrift shop and they have a dollar sale and it's like everything's a dollar.
Oh
And
wow.
tons of people just flood in there and buy all the stuff because it's actually pretty good looking stuff too.
Huh. Yeah, we don't have that. That's living in Cali. We don't get cool stuff like that in Florida.
So let's talk about a guy, for example, a couple sample outfits. So let's say someone's in college, they want to wear an everyday outfit when they go to class, or maybe they're just like it's the weekend, they want to chill, and then like an outfit if they're going out to the bar and they want to have a sweet time and basically stand out amongst everyone else.
Yeah.
What kind of, let's say they're pretty fit, they have a good physique, and they don't want to spend a ton of money. Like, what would you suggest just to really stand out and make it like a good impression?
Well, for like a casual option, I mean, obviously weather permitting. If you're in, I mean, I live in Florida, so naturally my casual day-to-day attire is shorts. I mean, but I would never, and in this school, like for college kids especially, like never wear cargo shorts. Like just throw them out. Like they're too baggy. Like they just make you look square and not in shape. So like, I mean, I call it my daily uniform. And if for the most part, I like the shorter shorts above the knee, really well fitting. I mean, H&M has like $17, $18. I mean, actually for me, and this is a tip that I do, I learned it from a buddy. Like I buy all my I'll buy like gray or khaki, like slim fit khakis, like the jean material from H&M, and then I wear those all winter, and then come summer I just cut them. Because now that the cutting things is in style now, so I just save myself money there, and then I wear. I have a ton of black V-necks, white V-necks, red V-necks. Like I just wear a solid color, like labelless shirts with those slim fit shorts, and then I always wear like Converse or low top Vans or some sort of like casual shoe. And if I were going to class, that would be my daily uniform. I just rock that every day, because it still looks acceptable. It's still very clean, makes you look like you're in shape. It's not overly baggy, But if you're in a colder climate, you could do like just the solid T-shirt. With slim fit khakis like gray. They have all different colors now, like the dark grays, light grays, whatever. I mean, color as long as they look good. But keep everything slim fit. Like don't overly wear baggy shit because that just makes you look like cheap, and from a fitness standpoint, you just look a lot less muscular. So, and as far as going out, man, I tell everybody to rock the T-shirt blazer. That shit will just change your life if you do it right. Like dark denim.
I've been wanting to do that.
Dude,
I've been wanting
it.
to do the T-shirt blazer. But like for me at like 5'10", 185, very muscular, it's hard to find a blazer that looks, and I guess I just have to tailor it. But I mean,
Yeah.
I would like, if I get a blazer that fits my shoulder, that's even snug and tight on my shoulders, it looks awful because it's just too much going on down there, and it looks. So I gotta try getting like finding a tailor or something, because I think the blazer T-shirt look looks awesome. Like
Yeah.
you really stand out. He doesn't look like ostentatious or anything. It just looks like you're like that really well-connected guy that just is very cool.
And I avoid logos on everything, and that's just me personally. I just think like the graphic tees, that sometimes they can be cool. For me, I just feel it makes you look cheap, and it makes you like, it just makes you look like juvenile. Like you're not. It's not, for me. It's not age appropriate. I tell people that way. Like all my shirts, they're all solid colors. Like they're and then solid, like a black V-neck, white V-neck. Like they're not going to go out of style. Like ever. So that with the T-shirt with the blazer over top of it, like it just looks classy. And then I tell everybody to wear slim fit jeans. Like I mean, if you can do skinnies, I mean, by all means, I think I own skinny jeans, and my legs are pretty big from cycling my entire life. So I think everybody just makes an excuse. I mean, I'm not talking like leggings, like where they're painted on, but Diesel. I mean, if you can afford one good pair of dark denim jeans from Diesel, they're gonna run you like $200, but you only need one pair of jeans technically. And
I'm all about. I like Levi's. Levi's
Yeah.
actually got some really good cuts right now and they last forever.
Yep.
They
I
have
actually just saw an interview with the owner of Levi's. He said that he was wearing a pair of jeans. They looked really, really like fresh. They looked very stylish. And he's like, I've had them for over a year. I've never washed them.
nice. Yeah, that sounds like me. It's less intentional though. It's just like never wash my jeans.
Yeah, I
But
don't dry anything. I have a whole video about that in my course, taking care of your clothes. The second you
oh
dry
really?
it, it just
Of
fucks it all up.
air drying?
Yeah, I either dry clean them or just wash them and then hang them to dry because the dryer just fucks up clothes.
Huh. Well, you know the Levi's actually at this might be a good tip for people. It's like the ones that they sell at those skater stores are really cut well, the Levi's, in my opinion. Like at PacSun and Tilly's and Zoomies and those kind of skater stores in the mall. They have good cuts for their jeans.
Yeah, most
I think it
everybody.
was like the 5'10" or 5'11"
Yeah,
Levi's is like slim.
Yeah,
the
511s, yeah.
511 is a badass pair of jeans, and they have them in every color too, like really dark, really light. I like to stay away from and this is just for me. If you're trying to go out and wear something that's going to get a reaction, you don't want to. I mean, everybody wears like regular jeans, so that puts you, even if they're fitting well, you're still kind of in that regular category. So I like to go either really dark denim or really light denim, like a gray, because that gives you separate yourself a little bit because everybody's out. Guys think to go out. Oh, I got to put on my nice jeans. So it's like if you just go a little extra and say, and they're really really dark or they're really really light. I like slim fit khakis, like the denim khaki colors. I think those are awesome too. I hate regular khakis, but those seem to they fit me really well, and I think they look really good with the black shirt with the black blazer and a nice pair of boots. I mean, that outfit, I literally wear that outfit all the time.
Wait, denim khakis?
Yeah, like the khaki colored denim. They're like jeans, but they have me like a light gray or a khaki colored denim.
Yeah, Levi's makes some of those.
Yeah, mine are 511.
H&M
Like the
does
same
those too.
material as jeans.
Well, you
Not
want
like
to fall
cotton.
on the spectrum. Oh, go
What was
ahead.
that?
I said you want to fall it's all about. I mean, at least for me, is I don't want to look like everybody else, and I think everybody wants to stand out in some way and not do it in a douchebag way. But everybody kind of wears, they wear jeans. So it's like, how can I make that like my statement? Maybe I'll wear jeans, but they're gray. Like I like gray jeans as well. I have like 4 pairs of gray jeans, So that's just my way of and this is like me personally just saying, okay, I want to stand out from the crowd. I'm going to do this. And then you compare that with, like I said, I always wear a t-shirt blazer, and I roll the sleeves up on my blazer all the time as well, which is kind of like a FU move to always looking perfect.
So if someone's getting a blazer for the first time to kind of rock with the t-shirt, like would you go with like a black or a navy or a gray blazer? What do you think?
I mean, you can never go wrong with black. I mean, I haven't, and for the most part, H&M, Express. I mean, unless you're overly muscular, like you can pretty much walk in there right off the shelf, and their blazers will fit you pretty well. I mean, I'm a big guy at 205, 6'2", and I wear a 44 regular Express, and it fits me like I got it tailored because they're naturally cut thinner. So I mean, yeah, I would start with a black one if you're just gonna start wearing a t-shirt blazer, like the black V-neck or white V-neck with a black blazer and like jeans and boots, like looks awesome. I mean, I would say once you have that and you kind of know you're into the t-shirt blazer look, then I mean I would get like a gray, because I have a cool ass H&M gray one that really is flashy gray, so it looks really cool. And then I also have my basic navy, which goes with like I mean a navy blazer is like the preppy staple. Like everybody tells you to have a navy blazer.
Right. And where do you want like the blazer to kind of hit your ass? Because I find like for guys that like are pretty built, but they're not like 6 foot something, a lot of times the blazers hang too low. It makes you look shorter and just doesn't look as tight.
Mine actually, I like them a little shorter, like so they actually fit.
Right.
They're not super long because I'm not wearing them with suit pants or anything, and most of the time I'm not even buttoning them up. They're just kind of open. Mine do fit me pretty tight, like, and almost to the point like if I do button the button, it's a little uncomfortable. Like they're that fitted, and that just for me is like I don't like it to be baggy even when it's like open. I like it to fit me tight. I don't want it to be flopping around and look too like just not clean cut. You know, so for most people, I think they'll pretty much. I mean, any blazer you buy from like Express, H&M, Zara, it's gonna fit you perfectly as far as like the length and everything. It's just taking that to the tailor and just like my tailor actually moves my buttons over for me, so like it actually now like so where it closes here, it's a little tighter, so I get more of a V taper. Just little details like that is that tailors can do for you. I mean, you just want it, if it fits good in the shoulders and like the sleeves, they can change everything else. You know, so they can make it come in, they can put slits in the back to make it, you know, they can do all kinds of, I mean, I don't know what that little Asian lady does to my stuff, but it always comes back looking perfect. But I always just make sure that the shoulders fit. You don't want it like hanging over on the shoulder. You want it to just fit right with the end of the shoulder. And there's all kinds of like YouTube videos and shit that tell you how to make sure your shoulders fit on your blazer.
I'm gonna get a tailored blazer and rock that t-shirt blazer look.
Dude, I think Express, man. I guarantee you'd fit good into an Express blazer, because they fit me and I'm a bigger guy.
Right.
And they're like
I'll give that a shot for sure. Right. And there's not that many people rocking the t-shirt blazer look. You don't see too many.
No, it's just that one level above. It works everywhere. And it's not overly hot, like, because I always have to think about like heat and things because of Florida. Like, I don't want to be sweating my ass off standing in a club. So the t-shirt blazer for me is still, I'm not like all stuffy.
Right, for sure. And what are some other things you can push that up? Like, do you like to wear like cool watches or I mean, what about like hairstyles, stuff like that?
I mean, personally, I have an armful of tattoos, so they're kind of an accessory no matter what. So I don't wear a watch because the watch just blends in with my tattoos, unless it's some crazy color. I'm not really into crazy color watches. But no, like I call it in my product, I have thing. It's like the one, like I call it your one thing, and it's like kind of something like it's a staple. It's like your conversation piece. I really like dress boots. So like I wear like very dull outfits for the most part, just so like my shoes show off. Like when you have like this lighter brown pair of shoes and like a matching belt, I kind of dull down my entire look so like people see my shoes. I know another guy, he's all into pocket squares, so like he doesn't wear anything flashy except for like some neon colored pocket squares or like some crazy like designs. Like these things, I mean, Jason Capital, my buddy, he wears a ton of bracelets. Like, so they kind of like they're conversation pieces, but it's like your little things that you used to, I mean, I call it the one thing that people like will comment on. And I mean, some guys are really into like those flat build, hats and all these different colors. Like that could be a thing too. It doesn't always have to be like a watch or there's anything that you're just like into. Like I read like, high tops and cool shoes. Like, so I spend my money there and I want my outfit to represent that, hey, this guy wears cool shoes. Let's comment on them. So those are things like when it comes to accessories, I personally don't think people should get too like enamored in getting a lot of accessories. It just kind of, you don't want to wear too much.
Right. Okay.
Hope that makes sense. And as far as haircuts, man, I'm big on getting my haircut every 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like a non-barber guy. I have a stylist, like getting my head rubbed, and I think one of the most important things you can do as a guy is have a good stylist to go to. Because she'll tell you what's in style, she'll tell you what looks good on your face, and your haircut is like the #1 thing that everybody sees when you walk, when they first meet you. Besides what you're wearing, it's kind of like they take it all in, but your haircut and your facial grooming, if you're real scraggly with the beard, like people notice that, and that does speak about your character. So definitely, grooming's huge.
All right, very sweet. Any final comments you want to add, Chris or Ryan?
No,
we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, oh, go ahead.
Go for it. I was gonna say, I think
we got a little lag there.
Yeah, don't worry, you go for it.
No, I was just saying, and don't let, because people think style is this really overwhelming process, and it's really not. And that's why I created my course. Like, I wanted to simplify the entire process for people, and just kind of it's not about like, you don't have to like spend all this money like you see in GQ magazine, and it's cool to be into style as a guy. Like, I mean, I don't know why there's this stipulation with society that thinks if you're a guy and you like fashion that you're gay. I mean, I have nothing against gay individuals, but I think it sucks that we're stereotyped like that, because I mean, I have gay friends and they fucking dress awesome, and they have hot friends, like girls that are friends that, basically girls want to be around attractive guys, and so it's like, use that to your advantage. Don't get like, your friends will probably start hating on you a little bit if you start changing the way you dress. Like, that's like anything in life. You're gonna be uncomfortable at first, and people aren't gonna embrace it. But for me, all my friends hire me to take them to the mall. So it's pretty funny. It goes full circle. The same guys that made fun of me when I started wearing a t-shirt blazer out every night now won't go out without me telling them what to wear.
That's funny.
So.
And I think like one last really awesome piece of advice I got from your course, because I went through it a few days ago. It was really great stuff, and that's the 51 handsome man secrets. Is one of the videos you talk about just like owning your look.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like having the confidence to go with it, and if the confidence is not there, you could be in a great outfit and it just won't work. I mean, do you want to just maybe expand on that for a bit, and then?
Yeah. I mean, I made that video because, like I said, you can. I mean, it's basically we're putting on costumes every day, and every time we go out, we're wearing this different costume. Like what do I want to portray to the world today? And that's what I like so much about fashion, is that you can change how you look and what people perceive you instantly, overnight, with fashion. But when it comes to wearing it, if you're uncomfortable wearing a blazer, then don't wear a blazer. Become like, if you own like V-necks and jeans and like nice shoes and like that's your look, but when you wear it, you're like, you stand tall, you got good posture, you're happy. Like, these things, like they go more than just a guy that is wearing a suit. It's having the confidence to, like, you have a rip in your shirt and you're like, fuck it, whatever, I got to rip my shirt, I don't care. Because just these stupid little things that people, they see you and the energy that you radiate when you're out and when you're interacting. So if you have a positive energy and a lot of good vibes going on, it's not really going to matter what you're wearing. People are going to want to be around you because they want to be around you. Like,
yeah, great point.
Whatever you got to do, whatever you need to wear that's going to bring that out of you, that's what I think fashion is. And at least that's how like style is for me. It's like, okay, what can I put on tonight that's going to make me the best version of myself? How am I going to impact the most people? And these things, like, I figured that out, and that's kind of what I hope my course does for all the people that purchase it. It's helping them just figure that out. Without, and everybody, you see it every day. You see celebrities that they have stylists, but they always kind of seem to wear the same stuff. Like, I mean, I follow a lot of like Ryan Gosling style and things like that. They're different suits, but for the most part, they're always wearing the same look, and that's like because that brings the best out of them. That makes them, take the best pictures. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a great point to end on, I think.
Yeah. It's just not about
you.
Yeah, it's being the best version of yourself. Like, I mean, my good friend Elliot Holst always says the strongest version of yourself. Well, I think fashion just brings the best person out of you, and it's like, and it's also ways to express what you're into with the world. It's like it's who you are. It's what they see. It's the first thing people see when you introduce yourself. So I like putting importance on that.
Very cool. So that was Ryan Magin at ryanmagin.com, and his course is 51 Handsome Man Secrets, and we'll leave you the details in the show notes, but we'll have all that information on roadtrip.com, including the basic breakdown of the episode. So thanks for coming on, Ryan. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, guys. I hope everybody got a lot out of this. I love talking about fashion and style.
No, it was great. Thank you.
No, we usually talk about fitness and nutrition, so it's definitely a cool way to mix it up. So thanks again. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Talk to you guys later.
Care.